house in the morning.
Gorgeous out here today. So the reason I'm out here today is because I need to go for a run really bad. It has been a very stressful morning in the tiny house. We went through this when we lived in our apartment. We would basically let the week build up chores, and then when we got done in our work week, we were ready to relax, but then there's this list of chores to do. And it wasn't as big of a deal in our apartment because if the bathroom wasn't like cleaned and the shower and stuff, it was like, well, it's just a little more dirty than it should be. But in the tiny house, it's like once the toilet's full, I mean, it's full. And like we've had some issues, more just user issues with the toilet. It's mechanically and everything, it's worked totally fine. It's a cheap $50 porta potty from I almost said Whole Foods, from Walmart. We plan on replacing it with like a really nice composting one in the spring, but those things are so expensive. So for the moment, we're using this thing, and there's like one morning I woke up at 5 a.m. and I stepped into a puddle, and I'm like, really hope that isn't what I think it is. And it was. It was what was leaking out of it, and it was bad, and then we kind of let it overflow this weekend. Sorry if the wind's getting bad on you guys. So I don't know, it's tough. You get to your weekend, you're like, man, I worked all week and I'm tired, and then you got this list of chores you have to do before you can relax. But I mean, that's life, you know. In the scale of things, it's really not a big deal. So pounded through all that, got all of our water chores done and bathroom cleaning and emptying and all of that, and I'm like, I need to go for a run. Whew. Kind of a drop. Okay. They don't call this the Rocky Ridge Trail for nothing. The trail literally just runs up this rock. It's awesome. There's another big rock. I guess we're gonna be running up here. Whoa. I don't know how I've never been out here. Woo. Woo. Oh. Wow. This thing's gnarly. This thing's like literally a cave. Cold under here. I think the trail goes that way. Look at how cool that is. All the trees and stuff growing on top of it. Man, I want to go on top. This thing is awesome. Look at between these things. Well, I would love to climb those, but I'm out here all alone and my wife would kill me. I got other people to think about. This place, over and over, just reminds me of the 100-acre wood. This run, oh my gosh. I'm euphoric right now. Like, I don't mean to degrade myself to a dog, but if you had a dog and it had been stuck inside for like a month, and then you just open the doors and you just let it go for it. That's how I felt. I'm so happy right now. I feel so good. Oh my gosh. So typically there's a ton of trails out here. I'll shoot from one end to the other. So I go from a road all the way through to the road, another road and back. It's 3 miles. I got busy talking to you guys. I didn't even plan out my run today, so I'm like, we'll take this Rocky Ridge Trail. Oh my gosh. That was absolutely gorgeous. I had no idea where I was going, but I just went for it. And then it dropped me right onto the trail I normally run on, but like almost towards the end. So I finished the trail, came a ways back, and then there's this other trail that's like the hardest trail out here. And I was like, screw it, I'm doing it. And I just like crushed it. Like I was literally running up hills, just like going, rah! Like it felt so good. Oh my gosh. And it's like, oh, I'm glad my phone died, and I'm so glad it did, because it just let me like be out here. And like, it just smells like fall leaves. Like, you guys, if you've ever smelt that smell, it's so wonderful. And it's like 65 degrees, 70 out here. I mean, it's like perfect temperature, a breeze, the fall leaves, everything's golden. It was probably the best run I've ever had. And I'll have to tally it up when I get home, but it's probably like 6 miles. I mean, I did like the trail on the way back. I took the hard one, which was like through a crazy hardwood forest with just like tons of hills. I just feel awesome. Saw some other runners out here. It's like this one woman, she's like twice my age, and she was crushing it. Man, it's cool too. We've been grain free for 2 months, so no wheat, no rice, no corn, no peanuts. Actually, the peanuts and the corn we kind of added in later, but it's so interesting. Like, I love nutrition, and it's so cool to see how nutrition affects your body when you exercise. And like, I don't know, meat, just meat and vegetables, and like mostly vegetables, just a little bit of meat as like garnish. Man, I feel really good right now. There's a couple projects that I still need to work on for the tiny house. One is going to be getting a loft or something built up there, and also raising our bed up off the ground so we have storage underneath. But unfortunately, those things are a bit out of our reach right now. So there's still little projects that need to get done in the tiny house, and one is building small countertops for the 2 shelves or cabinets that we put next to the sink. Let me show you. So right here, these are 2 wall cabinets that we use for dishes and things like that. And I want to build a countertop like this on top of each one of these. So the other challenge I'm running into is the only wood that we really have is scrap wood. We do have this wood here, but I was hoping to be able to return most of that. 15 inches. Top, everything, so it'll smooth out. It's kind of what I did for the countertop. What I mean by that is when all of these are lined up, right, the edges might not be completely flush with each other, especially once it's glued together. But that'll get sanded, the top will get sanded, even if this is slightly uneven, like that. So these will need to get glued together. I will say this was a lot easier when I had a DeWalt miter saw at my disposal. Someone had let us borrow one, and I don't have one. So one thing you'll run into when you're working on a project like a tiny house or just home improvement stuff is that you'll have a difficult time if you're a perfectionist, or at least it's been the way for me. One thing that's helped me a lot is a YouTuber that we watched had this expression where he would say, don't polish a turd. Basically, if something needs to be done, make sure that you're doing it so that it fits its use, but don't worry about like the edges and all of these different things. Obviously, if you're making something for an art gallery or high-class furniture for the president, you'd want to really take your time. But if you're just making basically a countertop that's going to keep water from rotting out some wood, then give your best shot. But I know that with only 4 months carpentry experience, I'm not going to do this as well as some people. But as long as I give it my best shot, then I'll be happy with it. So I'm not saying that to cop out when it comes to doing things right, because I think you should do things right and take the time to do things right. The countertop in there, in the tiny house, I wasn't even going to glue, I wasn't going to do anything like that. I was just going to nail it right to the thing, and I was tempted to do that with this. But it's important to glue it to seal the seams, get these 4 pieces as one piece of wood, and then you can sand it after. But anyway, don't polish a turd, don't beat yourself up. And if you guys want to see this being worked on more, then see you in the next video.